Now this is sounding more like the Fall Out Boy that I knew and loved. What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the surprise new EP, Lake Effect Kid by Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy have certainly had an interesting career trajectory over the past 10 years. I've been following them intensely and closely because I've been a fan since 2005. Their most recent album, Mania, was definitely, at best, kind of a messy, off-the-rails adventure, and I personally didn't care for it, but you guys probably already know my thoughts. I'm not gonna bore you with that. If you don't, there's an annotation at the end of the video that will take you over to my review of Mania. So with the Lake Effect Kid EP being a bit of a surprise, I didn't exactly know what to expect. Pete Wentz did tweet out a few months ago, I believe back in either June or July, some handwritten notes, and he had crossed out the Lake Effect Kid EP. So everybody started speculating as to what that could be. Were they going to rework that title track that was made about 10 years ago? It was actually given out to their fan club and kind of just in general to promote their album that was coming out in 2008, Folie A Deux. But a decade has passed, and I thought that we would never get more than just the demo. But holy shit, they came through and actually had Sean O'Keefe, who produced the band's first album, Take This to Your Grave, to produce this title track, Lake Effect Kid, and it sounds so badass. This is the best that Fall Out Boy have sounded in years, and the crisp lead guitars are something that my ears have been yearning for, have been wanting from Fall Out Boy, and Joe Troman kills it here. It has that shiny but melodic lead that really stands out, and lyrically, the song not only talks about Chicago, drugs, the haze that's felt because of certain aspects of fame and other problems in life, but also kind of reminisces about certain spots in Chicago. So it's important to them because they're from there, and just this EP in general is paying homage to their hometown, but also to other people from that area. You're probably going to recognize some of the themes. Now, why would Fall Out Boy be so interested in paying tribute to their home city of Chicago, especially a decade after they initially penned the Lake Effect Kid title track? Well, honestly, it's because they're having a homecoming, a big one at that. They're playing Wrigley Field, the home of the Chicago Cubs, and this is going to be huge for them. I know that they're probably going to crank some of these songs live, and if you're wondering exactly what a Lake Effect Kid is, the lake effect has to do with the Great Lakes up in Michigan and the way that the water is kind of evaporated off of there. It's a scientific thing where it's lifted off and then it's maybe taken to another place. Some places it's rain, some places it's snow. It's a very interesting effect, and obviously with the band growing up and being from Chicago, they know this very well, so it's kind of in tribute to that. City in a Garden is the second track, and the title of the song is actually one of the nicknames for Chicago. It's the translation of the town's seal, and it's something that's very interesting as they add in a kind of a spicy drum rhythm from Andy Hurley that feels a little bit off-kilter, but it's something that the more I listened to it, I initially saw it as perhaps a production flaw with the way that he added in a few extra little jabs here and there, but as I repeat my listens to the song, I find myself just kind of drawn to it because it is a little bit odd, a little bit unique, and that's what makes it stand out. I think that it's a nice song that kind of puts a smile on your face because you're listening to this, and yes, it definitely sounds more like older Fall Out Boy, but also a more mature and more nuanced Fall Out Boy. This is what they could sound like in 2018, but instead they unfortunately often choose to sound more like Mania. Speaking of sounding more like Mania, we have the final song, track number 3 on this very short 10-minute EP, which is titled Super Fade. Now, I would expect that a lot of you are probably anticipating me tearing this song limb from limb, just ripping it to shreds, but I'm not going to be doing that because the more I listen to it, even though it is kind of a train wreck, it's a fun train wreck. It's like in Super 8 when all of the kids just couldn't look away from the train crash that was going on behind them because it was actually kind of entertaining. That's this track, Super Fade. Even though the vocals aren't very good and they're a little bit off at first and the lyrics are definitely questionable at best, it seems like it's a little bit off its rocker, and the more you listen to it, the more all of the elements start to come together. Yes, it has kind of a dubsteppy, zany breakdown, and then I do not like the pitch-shifted vocals that are just adjusted and like constantly like knocked up. It just sounds like they're trying to shove that like style down our throats, but I do like the little guitar breaks that are in there. And the more you listen to the song, like I said, it definitely grows on you. So even though I don't necessarily like this song, I at least think it's better than I did the first time I played it. It might sound hypocritical to enjoy this song but not Young and Menace, but honestly, they're not even the same beast. I think that Young and Menace just relied far too heavily on the drop. The build-up and the suspense wasn't even really there, and the drop lasted forever and just went on, and the pitch shifting was just constant. This song doesn't really beat you upside the head like that, so overall, I do find it kind of enjoyable. The Lake Effect Kid EP is a fun outing for Fall Out Boy. I wish that they would do more like this because it's enjoyable as hell overall. Even if I don't love one of the songs, it kind of goes from the Lake Effect Kid, the title track, being amazing, to City in a Garden being good, and then you've got Super Fade being okay. Altogether, it's something that I do see myself revisiting in time. But what do you guys think? What do you think of this short 10-minute Lake Effect Kid EP? Do you think it was like something that was necessary? You love it? Or maybe you're just gonna skip over it, you don't care about them anymore? Let me know and why in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video while you're here and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to see that Mania review, then tap right over here or tap here for my top 10 favorite Fall Out Boy songs. All of my socials can be found linked in the description, and I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.